Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. You can tell I'm back in England. I've got the big heavy-duty gown on. It's cold. I've come back from Estonia. I mean, it's not like it's the bloody Seychelles. It's hotter over there than it is over here. Anyway, boxing. Let's talk about this purse bid palaver with Isaac Chamberlain and matey. What's his name? Cheavon Clarke. Because this is, it's been called another pullout by a boxer fighter at the 11th hour in a purse bid. Now, technically, Isaac Chamberlain is not a boxer fighter. He signed a 5-year deal with Mick Hennessey. That must be about 3.5, 4 years ago now. But he's supposed to be promoted by Hennessey, but Hennessey works with Shalom, and what happened has got Shalom and boxers' fingerprints all over it. So what exactly happened? Well, I think probably, I don't have any inside information, but I think probably Shalom did what he normally does. He's got a very clear track record over the last year to 15 months for doing this. He pulled his fighter, or should we say his fighter in all but name, out of a purse bid at the 11th hour. And why does he do this? Maybe the mess Eddie Hearn around, I don't know. Maybe because he thinks it's clever, I don't know. I just don't understand it. But there are ways of doing things. Managers, put it this way, fighters have managers and they have teams for a reason. And sometimes the managers and the teams will have to say to the fighter, look, we ain't going to take this fight yet because you're not ready for it. We're going to go away, get some more experience, and you're going to fulfill your potential, and then you'll come back and see this guy later. So we're going to play the long game. But what they don't do is they don't say, okay, there's an hour and a half to go to the purse bid. I'm putting my fighter out. What you do is you say, well, we're going to go down a different route. We're going to go down a different path. Like, for example, Adam Azim with matey, who he ducked. He gave up the EBU belt, Dalton Smith. And, he would fight Dalton Smith tomorrow. But, his team should have said, the EBU, we've had that belt. We've made a defence. You have it. Go on. We're going for world titles now. Or they'd have done the old political spin crap that promoters and managers always do, because they are, in a sense, cut from the same cloth as politicians or corporate bods. And we know how highly we rate all of those people. But this one is a strange one to me. It's not so much, well, to be honest with you, it's not as odd as the Joshua Buatsi Anthony Yarde situation, because Yarde, sort of putting the mockers or the blockers on the whole Buatsi situation. That is weird, because I don't see who Yarde's going to fight if he's not going to fight Buatsi. Certainly not for that amount of money. At least with this one, as strange as it is, and I think it is strange, because I would probably have picked Isaac Chamberlain to beat Cheavon Clarke. Cheavon Clarke, by the way, he's only had 8 fights. He's got 6 wins, and he's fought some half decent men. He stopped Tommy McCarthy in 4 rounds in his last fight. He's beaten Vasil Duco, who's not a bad, journeyman gatekeeper type. David Jameson, the tough Scot, he stopped him in 5 rounds. I think that was an eliminator for the British title, and then he won. No, he won one of those WBA intercontinental things. Against McCarthy. So he will now fight for the vacant title, and it's rumoured to be against Ellis Zorro, who's coming off being obliterated by Jaya Pataya, but there's no shame in that, of course. Jaya Pataya is a tremendous fighter, world-class fighter. But I'd favour Chev Clarke to beat Zorro, especially as Zorro's probably still in shock over being blown to bits by Pataya in a single round. But at least it was over quick. If Zorro can get his head together, there's not going to be not put many miles on the clock physically. It's all psychological when you get blown out in a round. So maybe Zorro will prove me wrong. But the point is, I would have picked Chamberlain, or I'd have made him a favourite, maybe 60-40 favourite, 65-35 even, against Chev Clarke, and yet he's been pulled out. He's been pulled out supposedly by Mick Hennessey, but we know it's not really just Mick Hennessey, is it? Sky. I mean, Mick's fighters have been on Sky. They've been on boxer cards. So why has he done this, or why have Chamberlain's team done this? Well, they're trying to put him in for the EBU belt now with the Polish guy Michal Cieslak. And Cieslak I think he's got something like 25 wins and 2 defeats. The 2 defeats are on points, and they're both in world title shots. One was for the WBC title against Ilunga Makabu, and then later on, a year or two later, he fought Akoli for the WBO belt and got comfortably outpointed in both those fights. So whenever he stepped up to world level, he's been found wanting, but he is a very good European level fighter, Cieslak. Polish guy, I think he's in his 30s, early 30s now. And this fight will probably be in Poland. He is the champion. So unless they offer him a ton of money, Isaac's going to have to go to Poland to fight, which is never a nice place to fight. Just ask Alan Babic, Just ask Lawrence Akoli after he's fought, for the Bridgerweight title, which is coming up as well. I'm not convinced that was going to go well for him, but we'll see. So, okay, you could say, Chamberlain can say, well, I'm going for the EBU title. I've had the British, I won it, I didn't make a defence, but I'm giving it up to go for the EBU title. And the EBU title gets me a world ranking. And when we consider other cruiserweights in the boxer field, we've got Riakporhe coming up with a rematch with Chris Billum-Smith. Maybe if they want to really keep it in-house, which boxers seem intent to do with Sky, maybe the winner of that could fight Chamberlain if Chamberlain gets the EBU title. This does it makes a complete lie of Shalom's comments that we want to work with everyone. We'll work with everybody. Why are you putting your fighters out of purse bids every 5 minutes? What the hell is that all about? Why aren't you doing, joint promotional? I'll tell you why. Because you want to keep it in-house. Because you are contracted to Sky and you want everything on Sky. Okay. And even when Hearn has actually, I think, with regard to the Dalton Smith fight, he said, I tell you what, put it on Sky. I don't care. Even that wasn't enough. Why? Because you think your guy stands a good chance of getting beaten. I mean, I wouldn't rule Adam Azim out of beating Dalton Smith. I'd make Smith the favourite. But this Isaac Chamberlain, Cheavon Clarke thing, this is weird because I think it's an excellent matchup. I imagine the money was there. And Eddie Hearn has said, if Isaac Chamberlain could see the amount of money I was going to put on the table for that fight, he would vomit. He'd be sick. He'd cry. He'd probably poop himself because it was a lot of life-changing money. That's how Eddie said. Okay, Eddie's Eddie. He could be telling the truth or he could be whistling Dixie. We don't know. But it is a shame because Yard and Buatsi, that would have been a good fight. Another domestic dust-up, Chev and Isaac, that would have been a great fight. Why are these fights not getting made? It's very strange how... it's very, very strange how some fighters, I don't know what it is with some of them. Do they overprice themselves? Do they overrate themselves? Do they think they have more to bargain with than they've actually got? I don't know. I like to think if I was a fighter, if I was, either Isaac Chamberlain or Yard, I'd be thinking, a great domestic fight. I'm going to prove I'm the best in my division in Britain. And I'm going to do it against an undefeated guy. It's not going to happen though, is it? Which is a shame. But what do you think? What do you think about this one? To me, it's another fight that's got away, at least temporarily. But also, just as a little aside, I thought it was quite funny when Isaac Chamberlain called Eddie Hearn a silver spoon, whatever. And Eddie was interviewed. He said, well, I think he's a fucking prick. All right, calm down, girls, calm down. But what Eddie should have said was, I am a silver spoon guy. And guess what? I turned that silver spoon into a gold one. I've got lots of gold and you're not having any of it because you're pulling it out of this purse bid, you silly sod. But, fucking prick. We'll settle for fucking prick. Go on, Eddie. Go for it, mate. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the like button as well. You know it makes sense. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.